Hi, everyone. Welcome to my Thursday Hangout. Every Thursday night, I do a hangout for real estate investors called the Real Estate Investor Hangout. And I'm glad you could come and watch the show. Tonight, I'm going to talk to you about finding and analyzing your deals. I'm doing a series on the 4 F's: find, fix, find, fund, fix, and flip. Those are the 4 F's in real estate. And we've talked the last couple of weeks about finding and funding your deal. And today I'm going to wrap that section up by talking about analyzing your deal. Because just because you found something that looks like a deal, you don't really know it's a deal until you analyze it. So I'm going to show you how I analyze some of my deals. I'm going to show you a PowerPoint slide of a flip that we did. And I'm going to show you some software tools for free that you can use to analyze your deals. So hold on to your hat. We're going to do a lot of different types of screen sharing in this Hangout, more than I've probably seen on any other Hangout. We're going to do a PowerPoint presentation, a couple of Excel spreadsheets, a software program, a website, and a couple of YouTube movies. So there's a lot to do tonight. So hang on to your hat, hang on to your seat, and grab a drink, water, tea, or, wine, tea, whatever you want to have with you, and strap in, and we're going to kind of fly through this material and have a good time tonight. All right, so I'm going to share with you a couple things you can, places you can follow me at. You can follow me at the Pink Professor on Twitter, and you can also go to my website. You find that, and go to wisewealthuniversity.com/hangouts. If you register there, you can get an email of all the upcoming hangouts, and you can also watch the previous hangout, the replay. We post them there, and they're there till the next week when we post a new hangout, and then the old ones come down. So if you want to see some of the weekly hangouts and be up to date on when they're happening, go to that website and log in, and you'll get an update. All right, thanks. All right, so let's dive right in. I'm going to do a screen share with you. Here we go. Now this is a remodel that we did in San Diego, and I'll run through some of the basics and what it cost us to do the deal. And I'll also show you a movie of what it looked like when we started, okay? All right, here we go. All right, now I would love to show this in full screen. Unfortunately, when you do, YouTube doesn't record it. So I'm going to, keep you in this slide layout format. So this is a remodel we did in San Diego. It was a 1960s home, or a 1959 home, as you might hear me say in the video. Here's what it looked like before we started. There was a lot of overgrowth. There was this post that we took out eventually in the remodel. It didn't even work anyway. That was before and during. During the remodel, people dump a lot of stuff on your property, like old mattresses, because they want you to get rid of it in your dumpster. And always take the opportunity to put up your signs. We put up our We Buy Houses sign on the property when we're doing the remodel. So here's some basics about the deal. The owner was older and living with a son out of state. She also had one son living here in San Diego, so 2 brothers that were handling the sale. We had learned about this property from a referral. So that's how we found out about it. She needed to close before she ran out of time for the 2 out of 5 year rule for capital gains. In other words, you have to live in your house 2 out of the last 5 years if you want to be exempt from capital gains as a single person for $250,000 off of the price of your house. If you have lived in it fewer than 2 out of the last 5 years, you don't get to claim that exemption from capital gains. We negotiated the price based on no realtor commission, and because it wasn't on the MLS, it wasn't listed, and it was a referral to us. And we negotiated that they had no repairs to make, and they would get cash at closing. During the due diligence period, we discovered that there were some cracks in the slabs, and we renegotiated with them, and that gave us a further discount. Now I have a movie on what it looked like before we started. I'm going to play that movie for you through the YouTube link. So here we go. Hi, Janice Bell, Energy Wise Properties. We bought this house from an individual owner, and we're going to run a rehab class through here and teach you how to do your own rehab. Let's take a look at the street scene. It's a nice bread and butter neighborhood. All the houses are very similar, so it has good comps and a great school system. Come on in. The house was built in 1959. It hasn't been updated too much. We're going to come in and really do a whole new kitchen, take out the wall oven. It's got a new cooktop, and we might move the fridge over there. Now it has a door to the outside. We're going to enclose that. We really just want to open up this room. To do that, we'll probably take out that wall and make it into a great room. Now the owners have put in dual pane windows, so we can keep those. That's a nice feature, and it has a really nice slider to the back. We'll probably reface the fireplace to update it, give it a modern look. This looks like a closet. It's really the doorway to a den. This house is listed as a 2-bedroom with a den. I'll show you what that looks like when we get inside. It's 2 bathrooms, so it's a 60s bathroom. It doesn't even have a shower. We're going to take out the tub, put in a new shower right there. It does have wall furnaces. We're going to take out the wall furnace here and the one in the living room and put a furnace up in the attic. And also we can add AC with that. So here's the inside of that den. We're going to enclose that wall. There'll be no doors left. It already has a closet, so it's a perfect 3rd bedroom. We want to do that to get a higher appraisal. Next, this is a 2nd bedroom, 2 windows, and it has linoleum on the floor. We'll take all the linoleum out of this house and the old carpet and put in all new flooring. Back here we have the master with a door to the garage, which we'll take out. We don't really want that in the master. It already has a double closet, and it has a bathroom with no tub, but it does have a shower. There'll be one thing that we want to keep in here. They'd already redone the shower stall with nice neutral colors, so we're just going to keep that, put in some great hardware for the shower. All right, well that was the movie. That's what the house looked like when we bought it. Okay, so that's what it looked like before we bought it. Now I'll go through what we did to it. We updated the kitchen by combining the wall oven and the cooktop. They're usually quite expensive separately, but when you put them in one oven, then now you're back down to $500 for the oven. We removed some walls, and that's what the kitchen looked like when we took out all of this. And then we eventually took out the closet that was there in the corner. Here's what the new kitchen looked like. We removed 2 walls, this one here, and you can see it opened up the kitchen quite a bit. And we removed another wall from the other side of the kitchen. All right, here's what happened on the outside. Because of the cracked slab, we had an engineer who had to look at the property, and they were involved in the permitting process. And they told us that the chimney was tilting a little bit, had a few cracks. So we had to dig down and put pilings in underneath the chimney, and then all that had to be signed off on by the engineer who worked with us on the project. So that's what the back of the house looks like after we finished the landscaping. And here's something else having to do with the chimney and fireplace. It had this facade on the outside, the brick behind it. So we took out the facade, left the brick, and we put our own stacked rock on the front of the fireplace. We also used a fireproof black paint to paint the inside, and it made it look a lot nicer and cleaned up. Okay, so here's the other thing we did with the slab repair. We had 2 types of slab problems here. One was the hairline cracks, which were in the living room and other parts of the house. And then we had an offset crack, which was in the garage. Now, you're not required to repair the slab in the garage. It's really a separate slab from the house. But just since we were going to do the concrete, to make it look nice, we jackhammered out that entire offset crack and repaired it. And then you'll see the sidewalks down below. The sidewalks were all tilted towards the house, and so was the back patio. So we took all that out and did one repour, where we repoured the garage, the sidewalks, and the back patio all at the same time. Okay, this is what we did to the bathrooms. We usually use a travertine tile that we can use on the floors and in the walls of the bathroom. So both bathrooms and the master shower were redone that way. We did not keep the master shower the way I talked about it in the movie, because we were able to take a closet out of the hallway, and that made the master shower twice as large. So that's what the finished product looked like on the master shower. There's the doorway to the third bedroom you saw in the movie. That's the inside of the bedroom when we were done. We had to put in a new window because it was now a bedroom and not a den. And there's the backyard. We did some grading and landscaping to keep water from flowing towards the house, and finish landscaping the rear of the house. Here's how we updated the kitchen. These cabinets are from Home Depot. After that, we started working with a guy who imports cabinets from China. So our cabinets and granite were a lot less after that. But that's what the cabinets cost. We put in new windows. We removed that side door that I had mentioned, because all it did was go out to the side street, really didn't have a function. And we put in all new appliances, travertine floors and granite countertops. So this is the outside of our remodel. That's what it looked like in the beginning, and that's what it looked like when we finished. We were able to use a dry landscape, so there was really not much water needed in the front of the house. All the grass was removed. So in summary, we converted a den to a third bedroom, and we put in new windows. We put in all new kitchen and baths, new paint, and all new doors. We fixed the slab, and we repoured all the concrete and the new landscape. We removed 2 doors, a closet, and expanded the master shower. And we changed out all the wall furnaces. We put an HVAC and an AC unit up in the attic. So what I wanted to show you is a cost segregation of the remodel. And this is something you don't usually get from people. They'll just tell you, it cost me $35,000, but they don't tell you what each thing cost. And for us, the HVAC and the AC cost about $3,500. We knew the guy who did it, so we got a pretty good discount on that. The windows cost $1,600 just for the windows, and that was from a supply house up in LA, and it didn't include the labor. Kitchen cabinets were from Home Depot, and we got the appliances from an appliance store. Labor and the tile all together were $3,000 for both kitchens and both bathrooms and the kitchen floor. And then we have a separate guy who just does paint, baseboard, and doors, and he was $9,500 for everything. Crew and labor for all the rest of the work, inside and outside, fences included, was $10,000. Materials and supplies, $11,000, above and beyond the tile and the cabinets and the windows. And then the concrete cost us $5,500, and all the landscape materials cost $7,000. So that's the complete segregation of the costs during the rehab. And let me just go right to a summary of the whole deal. So we got the list price, which was $360,000. Our closing and 3% to a realtor who brought the buyer cost us $16,000. We just listed it ourselves, since there's one of the realtors one of our partners is a realtor. We purchased it for $210,000. The closing and insurance cost us $28,000. The total rehab was $64,000. Interest during the holding period, because we did get a permit. It took us a little bit longer for this, $13,000. And our net profit from this deal was $58,000. Excellent, excellent deal. And I'm going to talk to you in a little bit and show you 3 different deals and the spreadsheets on those 3 different deals. And you'll see the next deal I talk about on the spreadsheet will be this particular deal. So that's the end of our slideshow for the remodel. And I'm going to stop this screen share and send you over and we'll start looking at those spreadsheets. So hold on for a minute. That was one deal. I'm going to now show you an analysis of that deal and 2 other ones so you can see what happens when you have different amounts of profit in your deal. And I usually use Excel spreadsheets and I just fill in the different costs. But after this, I'm going to show you a special kind of software. In fact, you can download a free version to help you analyze your own so you don't have to make up your own spreadsheet. So I'll show you that after I show you, my basic spreadsheet. All right, here we go. So on the right, you see the deal that we just talked about. And I can probably zoom in a little bit and just go over that deal. All right, there we go. Okay, so this is one of our better deals. We bought it directly from an owner, and that really makes a difference in terms of your negotiating. It was not listed on the MLS. As you can see here, we bought it for $210,000 and we sold it for $360,000. We paid $1,000 to one of our partners to list it, and that was the commission just to the buyer's agent. So that's why we had to pay the 3% to have them bring us a buyer. I think we had it under contract, within 3 days. That was our property tax, and that was our interest on the deal. We did have to get permits on this because of the concrete, and it was $13,000 in interest during the 180 days that we did it. Here's our closing costs. The rehab, we poured some new concrete. The rehab was actually, I think, a little lower than I had done in the spreadsheet in the PowerPoint, because the PowerPoint was done when I was estimating it, and these are the final amounts right here. We did some termite repair. So that was our net profit, $58,000. And let me show you a couple of other deals that weren't quite so profitable. Let's move up this one here. Okay, this one was a really tight deal, and I'll tell you why. For one reason, it was a tight deal. We had been in contact with a realtor who was getting a lot of REOs, and what we did was we decided to buy this deal from them, even though we knew it was a tight deal. So because we wanted to get some more deal flow from this particular REO agent. What happened also was the market came down and the buyer was negotiating for some concessions. So non-recurring closing costs, that was something that we paid to the buyer when we sold it. So we bought the property for $226,000. It's in the same town as the other deal I just talked about. You can see the insurance, the purchase closing costs, the notes we paid to the lender, and the rehab cost was $41,000. We had budgeted about $35,000, so we went over a little bit, and we added a half bath. It was a 3-bedroom, 1 bath. We added a half bath to that particular deal. Here's some of the interest that we paid during the deal, $12,000, property tax as well, transfer tax, title insurance. These are all numbers that you have to kind of figure in when you do your deal. And the concessions were really what got to us. I think were originally going to list at $325,000. Our buyer offered $305,000, and we got them back up to $315,000, but they also had wanted us to pay some of their closing costs. So that one was a tough negotiation. But it was worth it because within a month, we got another deal from the same agent. So let me zoom in on that deal. Okay, so this was a great deal that we got from the same agent. We bought it for $315,000 and we sold it for $440,000. We did have a commission to the buyer's agent, title insurance, escrow fees, etc. We spent about $60,000 on this rehab. It didn't have a cracked slab, but we changed it from a 3-2 to a 4-bedroom, 3-bath house. So there was a lot of work to be done on it. So we paid interest of only about $8,000 on this deal, and our net profit was $28,000. So that's basically how I analyze my deals. I start with the purchase price and all the amounts that I'm going to pay during the closing, and then I have my projected sell price, and then all the amounts that I'm going to pay in order to sell that particular property. So that's kind of something you can set up on Excel yourself. Tight deal, and then of course our best deal was from an individual owner. It wasn't listed on the MLS. All right, so now I'm going to show you a couple of websites that you could use and some tools that you could use to analyze some of your own deals. So let me stop that one and move over to our website deals. All right, let me screen share again. Here we go. Okay, here's a software tool that you can use to analyze your deals. This is called Rehab Valuator. It was done by Daniel Clayman. Now, Daniel, I think he might have worked on Wall Street, but he was very good as a financial analyst. And when he got into real estate, he decided to use those abilities to make himself a really good rehab valuator. And once he perfected it, he decided to sell it off as software to other real estate investors. And this is the free version that I'm showing you. He is having a special actually for the next 3 days. I'm not an affiliate of his. I'm just letting you know that he has a special on his site for $69 for the actual complete software. And what that allows you to do is build out some reports that you can give to private lenders and other partners to help them go in with you on the deal. So in his Rehab Valuator, let me pull it up on my screen so I can point to it for you. In this case, he's talking about a potential wholesale in scenario 1 and 2, and then a potential in scenario property 3, you would be holding the deal yourself. So in scenario 1 and 2, he gives you a wholesale profit of $5,000 or $10,000, depending on your maximum ARV that you offer for the property. He has an ARV of $100,000, and if he uses his 65%, then he offers $65,000 on the property. If he uses 70%, he's going to offer 70%, and then of course minus his repair costs, which would be $30,000 in the first case and $20,000 in the second scenario. So he sets that up for you and then lets you know you could wholesale that to a wholesale buyer and make a nice profit on that. In scenario 3, you would be holding the property yourself and with a $20,000 rehab. And in each case, he shows you your cap rate and your rate of return. Let me go to his next sheet. He has some assumptions about your financing, and he has an exit strategy. So in this case, you would plug in numbers for your exit strategy and find out your rate of return on the cash that you invested. He uses his after repair value and his rehab budget here. And in the second analysis, this is your refi and hold. So refi and hold, you would be holding the property, as a rental. And I think you would then refi out of it to get your money out. So he has a very nice analysis. It's a lot prettier than the spreadsheets that I use. So I think it would be really valuable for you to get, you know, the light version. I am showing you the light version. I haven't downloaded the full version yet. He gives you a little spreadsheet so you can figure out what the closing costs are to purchase the property. He has another one for your holding costs during the rehab, and you plug in the different amounts there. And then if you are going to buy a larger property like a multi-unit, he does give an operating spreadsheet so you can figure out exactly what it would cost you to hold that particular property. So all in all, I really like his spreadsheet, and I'm so glad that he gives this to people in a nice little free version. So go to rehabvaluator.com and download the free version from Daniel. I'm sure he would appreciate it. And then he does a lot of updates. He also has a lot of YouTube videos showing you how to use his software. So that's the first one I want to show you. The second software that I want to show you is on a website. So you need to connect to the website. Okay. All right, so this website is called Finest Expert. Okay, so in Finest Expert, you can plug in the address of a particular property and you can analyze the whole area. So finestexpert.com. So I plugged in an address in Phoenix, and what it did was give me a list of properties that are in the area. Now, Finest Expert has their FE score that they've calculated. The guys who did this website, I think, have PhDs in computer science. They did an algorithm to figure out whether a property, you know, was really worth buying as an investment. So the higher the FE score is, the better investment it is. And I think it goes up to from 1 to 1,000. So the higher the score, the better. And they also have color code. So if it's red, it's a really good property to invest in. So you probably see in here as I scroll down, the first property is $74,000. It's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath. And as I scroll down, the colors change, but the scores go down as well. So you get into a green score, not as good, and then you get down to, I think I can go to the next page, and the scores become blue. The score is even lower. So those really aren't that good of an investment. And I can show you why by clicking on the details here. If you click over to the details now, Finest Expert guys have done this for you. You don't even have to come up with a spreadsheet. They talk about your purchase price. They talk about your down payment, how much you're going to pay for the loan, your interest rate. You can change the interest rate if you want to. Your tax situation, your tax bracket, your appreciation rate, and your effective rate of return. And that's a return on the amount invested, which is the down payment and the closing costs. So that's your rate of return on the money, 9%. Then they assume a rental rate for that particular area. You can change that if you do better, but they're pulling all the data off the internet. And they assume your expenses with your taxes, insurance. They have an algorithm to calculate all this. Maintenance, your management costs, your before tax cash flow, and also your rate of return on your cash that you put into it. So it's just an excellent, excellent website. And you can analyze, any property you want. They show you a map of a lot of the comps in the area and what the price of the comps go for. And you can look at an analysis of every single one of those comps based on what you would pay for it. So they have for sale comps and also for rent comps. And when are you going to find that all in one site? Here they're pulling stuff from different ads, Craigslist ads. In fact, I wasn't sure. Sometimes you can click on the link itself and bring that up. I think you might have to do it here. When you roll over each different property, now the green ones are the for sale price, it looks like, and the purple ones are the for rent prices. So you can see where they are in relation to the house that you plugged in. So the reason I picked the address that I did for this particular property is that we have a rental house in the same area. So that's kind of the price range you'd want to use for your rental houses. Now, what I wanted to do is backtrack a little bit and show you another property in an area. This is in Phoenix, Arizona. I'll show you another one that Finest Expert has analyzed for us, and that's a house that we own up in Sacramento. And unfortunately, the way screen sharing works, I have to stop it and then go back to the other one. So here we go. Stop it. Grab the other one that I want to show you. Okay, here we go. So what I did was I plugged in a house that we had flipped up in Sacramento, and to show you how that analysis works out. Now notice the FE score is much lower. So there's a difference between the houses you want to buy to flip and the houses you want to buy to rent. The first one in Phoenix would have made a good rental. It had pretty good cash flow. This house you would want to buy to flip. I mean, we bought it for much less than that. You'd want to flip this house because it does not cash flow at the higher prices that you would be paying. So you certainly wouldn't want to buy it brand new. And I don't really know what the rent is on that street. They say it's $13.35 because we sold the house, to a homeowner. So let's see. So it shows you about what the rents are in that area, between $1,400, right around $1,400. So very consistent. And the price ranges are, in the mid 250s range for that type of house. So let me show you a quick video showing you how we did that house, how we flipped it. Because right now I'm trying to compare and show you how to analyze different deals, and you're going to analyze them differently depending on your exit strategy. If you are flipping it, you can afford to buy a house a little more expensive. If you're going to rent it and you want the cash flow, you have to be very careful about the amount of expense that you put into buying it as well as to rehabbing it. So again, I'll have to stop the screen share and find that particular video. All right, so let me play the first movie. Here we go. Stop that one. Okay, so that was one of the first houses that we did up in Sacramento. And that's the one I just showed you the analysis of on Finest Expert. So let me show you the second one. We just got an offer on this one. So it is under contract. Let me find this one as well. All right, so here's the second house. The funny part about this one is it's right next door. That was the second house, and let me get back to the Hangout. There we go. The neighbor came by and asked us if we wanted to buy his when they saw that we were rehabbing the other one. So it literally was right next door. Excellent deal. You can sell houses in December. It's under contract. These people had another house that fell out of escrow and they wanted to buy. They're ready to move. So they gave us a full price offer. So we're really, really happy about that one. All right, well, let me look down and figure out what I need to show you next. Oh, so when we talk about the rehab evaluator, one thing to consider is how much rehab do you want to put into a house? Now, if you're buying a house, say those ones I talked about in Phoenix, where you get them for between $60,000 and $80,000, you may only want to put in $10,000 in rehab, 5 or 10 sometimes, especially if you're keeping it as a rental. Now, once you get over that price, and from maybe 150 up to 300,000, you may want to put in between 20, 25 up to $60,000 in the rehab, depending on your after repair value. So you really have to know your after repair value. It's very important that you can analyze that based on your comps. So today I didn't really talk about the comps part, but I gave you that tool from Finest Expert that you can use to look at the comps in your area. Today, I really talked to you more about the cost and what it's going to cost you to do the rehab, the holding costs, and paying your realtors and all that stuff in order to sell the deal. So that's really important to know, that you put in a lot more rehab money when you have a more expensive deal. So when someone says to you, oh, this is what I do, it really depends on the market and the price of the houses that they're buying. Okay. So let's see, I showed you that movie. I think that is probably all the things I needed to show you for tonight in terms of analyzing your deal. I hope that all that information was helpful for you. And a reminder, go to Rehab Valuator and see if you can download the light version of Daniel's software. I'm sure you'll find it really, really helpful to do. If you want to follow what we do on Twitter, I'm going to put it up again. You can follow me on Twitter. I'm called the Pink Professor, and I do post a lot of links to articles, other webinars, anything that you need in your real estate investing. So I'd love to have you join me there. And then the other one is to go to my website, which is down at the moment, but it'll be back, wisewealthuniversity.com/hangouts. And you can also find Wise Wealth University on Google+, and you can find me and Wise Wealth University on Facebook. So if you go to those pages, I'd love it if you would circle me on Google or like the page on Facebook. And next week, we'll move into funding your deal and go deeper into some of the things you need to know about funding your deal, as well as private lenders. So we're getting close to Christmas. Next week, I want everyone to bring your hat, wear your Santa hat, and let's see how that works out in the Hangout if everyone wears their Santa hat. So let me bring me back here. Anyway, thank you very much for listening tonight. I enjoy our Thursday nights together, and I look forward to seeing you next Thursday, same time, same place. Remember, you can watch this on YouTube, G+, and Facebook, and find the links as well on Twitter. Good night, everyone.